Welcome to Sports Talk with Steve Jones, the daily talk show with the voice of Penn State football and men's basketball. You never know what special guest may stop on by any given day. Now here's the man of the hour, Mr. Steve Jones.
All right, great to be with you on this Tuesday. This is one of the few times where I feel like you have dressed appropriately for the show. Cold out, sweatshirt works. It's not, in that 49er garb. You got what Super Bowl jacket is that?
The one the Steelers were in, the Steelers Cardinals.
Oh, okay.
That was a gift from the Rooneys.
Well, the Rooneys have always loved you.
I'll tell you, they are amazing. I can't say. I helped them twice. I think I said this previously. I helped them 2 times, yep. And they could not have been better. They were absolutely incredible. I helped them, get prepared for the conference championship that year. I think they played. I want to say they played the Ravens with Flacco. Yep, and that's helped them into the Super Bowl prep. They sent me a bunch of stuff, including that the jacket, and I helped them again one other time. He sent me a Steelers Nation Hall of Fame certificate. So they could not have been. They are some of the best ownership in sports, without question.
They know it's you, right?
They do. They must. I think so. The reputation mustn't have been there at that time.
Right. So, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Couple things. The Big Ten football schedule release is going to be this afternoon around 5:30. I don't understand why it's at 5:30. I'm completely baffled. I don't get it.
Yeah, it's like the NFL schedule release. We pretty much can. Well, I'll tell you this: you could kind of, if it's NFL schedule release, you could leak a few out here and there, but. Right. Yeah, I don't know. It's schedule releases this day and age have become extremely popular. But here's the thing with the NFL. We usually know the primetime games, the times. We're not going to know that with this release.
No, we wouldn't want to do that.
No, can't have that.
But we'll be the first ones to put out the release on how the Big Ten set all these records in attendance.
That's right.
Oh, yeah. We care. We love the fans. Yeah, you really do about as little for the fans as you can possibly do as a conference. I've got to give them credit. Let's do a 6-day window for the game. There's nobody there.
Twice.
There's nobody there with the intelligence to figure out what a good game is. Come on.
Yeah, it's at least twice, too. A year. It's usually good for twice a year. It's a 6-day window.
It's insane. I remember hearing back in late September that Penn State, Nebraska might be a night game.
Yeah.
And I was hearing that internally. I'm like, okay, it might be a night game. We finally get to the week where it's going to come up. It's on a 6-day hold. I'm like, I heard back in September it was going to be a night game. What? I just sit there and go, you got to be kidding me. Oh.
That was like the year.
And I realize it's not just Penn State getting scheduled. You've got to schedule everybody else.
I understand it too.
But for goodness sakes, you get to the month of November. To be honest with you, with a couple of exceptions, November is kind of easy to schedule.
Yeah.
Especially if you're going to flex games.
Absolutely. And I remember there was at least one year where Fox picked up the Michigan game, where we absolutely knew it was a noon game. There was no question about it, and they still waited 6 days.
Yep.
It's just like
it's just
I don't get it.
Nobody gets it.
I definitely don't.
Nobody gets it. Just sit back. I mean, I'm talking. Everybody's a hostage. Pat Kraft's a hostage.
Sure.
Matt Campbell's a hostage. Right. You're in all likelihood the last hostage to be released.
That's right.
All right.
Yeah. There's a couple things I think you can predict pretty simply. I think Thanksgiving weekend there will be a home game here. There wasn't last year. Usually alternate it. So I think that's those kind of things I think you can probably predict.
Yeah, you can,
but that's too easy.
You can't do anything until you're actually there.
No. Yep.
Can't do anything until you're actually there. All right. So, oh well. Last week, I felt like Penn State was, with all the young players, hitting the wall. And, when that happens, it's usually you hit a wall, and it's kind of hard to predict when the guys, eventually you do break through the wall, but it's hard to predict, like, when it's going to happen. You can predict when they're going to hit the wall within about a week or so. It's hard to predict when they'll break out of the wall. Well, what was interesting last night, it's another game where they get a big first-half deficit.
Yeah.
They were down by 30 at Maryland, down by 20 against, was it 28?
They were down by 32 at one point to Wisconsin.
No, but I'm talking at halftime.
At halftime, it was 28, I think.
28 at halftime. Okay? And last night it's 18. You're like, oh, brother. And then the second half was played. And guess what? That's some of the best defense they've played
I agree.
in weeks. That is a really good offensive team. You're talking about a team that came in for the season shooting just a shade under 50% as a team, and Mobley is just a superior offensive player. Thornton, I just love how he plays. I mean, Thornton, how many turnovers Thornton had last night? Zero.
Yep.
So I'll never forget Big Ten tournament, Indianapolis. Ohio State's kind of like down and out, had to play the first day. And I think Thornton was a kid at the time. I think Thornton was a freshman, maybe? Maybe he was a sophomore. He plays out of his mind, and they get all the way to the semifinals. I think it was 2023. I think Thornton was a freshman.
Yeah, he was. It was 2023.
Yeah, he was a freshman because Penn State was in the other half of the bracket, and Purdue finally knocked out Ohio State. Penn State knocked out Indiana, and it was Penn State and Purdue for the Big Ten championship. And I'm watching Thornton because, you're watching all these other games because Penn State's staying in the tournament, so I'm watching everybody play. He played his backside off. He almost single-handedly carried him into the semifinals. And they opened up in the opening night. So they had to win 3 games just to get to the semifinals. And he played great. Well, he's been great ever since. I mean, you want to talk about the quintessential Big Ten body. And I think Royal's a really good player, too. Royal's a really good third option for them. But Mobley's a superior offensive player. And they're hitting shots left and right, left and right, left and right. But then in the second half, Penn State's hitting shots. Penn State's really playing well defensively. The vast majority of the time, Penn State is forcing them into one-and-dones. There weren't a lot of second-half offensive rebounds by Ohio State. There was one sequence where they did get 3 of them and then scored, and that was in a sequence. But they fought back, and they got to within 1. And the problem is when you're climbing like that, you're climbing, you got a lot of momentum in the whole thing. It just takes the other guy to hit one shot, and you're like, okay, you slid back a little bit. But they get within 1, and then they fall back a little bit. Then they get back within 4, and then and you know what? They showed so much fight last night. There were no moral victories.
No.
Every single hustle stat, second chance points, fast break points, rebounding, things like that. Penn State won them all. Okay? Shot 50%, but they lost one big one, and that was the turnover part. Penn State has done a really good job, for the most part, not perfect, but for the most part, of being a relatively low turnover team. They came in averaging for the season 9.1 turnovers per game. And they had 18 last night. And so they had 27% of their possessions last night ended in a turnover. So now you take it out. Think about this offensive efficiency. On the other 48 possessions, Penn State had, 25 baskets? On the other 48 possessions, Penn State had 25 baskets. And by the way, how many free throw attempts they have? 21, something like that. So you're looking at, at least 9 of those possessions ended up in free throws? So you're talking 34 out of 48 possessions where they did not turn the ball over, they scored? Wow. But that's of the possessions where they didn't turn it over. In other words, when they didn't turn it over, for the most part, they were getting a pretty good shot. But the turnovers were the killer for them. And when you double up the number of turnovers you average per game, okay, that's not part of the winning formula. You've got to be able, for Penn State, they got a few more steals last night that helped, but they've got to get a combination of steals and turnovers. They're not a shot blocking team. And when Melly Tunch is your shot block leader at 5,
not good.
Not great. All right, so you don't have rim protection. And in the second half, Ohio State shot, I think, like 41.5% in the second half. So I saw something last night. I saw a team that had hit the wall last week. First half, and then all of a sudden punched through the wall and gave it a run. Now they're going to take on Northwestern. That'll be Thursday night. But again, no moral victories. We don't do the moral victory thing, but we do the evaluation part and tell you what we see firsthand as to what's going on out there. And Mingo had 8 assists in the game. Caden did not shoot the ball well last night. Eli Rice played. He played really well. Not only did he have 20 points last night, which was a career high, and Juric had a career high 14 rebounds. Juric had a double-double. But Rice not only had the 20 last night, but he had the big block and strip on Royal, and then at the other end did the same thing and then saved it from going out of bounds. Rice played really well last night. And now Northwestern, look, Marinelli is a really good player. Yeah. You're talking a guy he's been alternating back and forth as to who leads the nation in scoring. He's up over 23 a game. I've mentioned this before, but it's always interesting in the one-and-done world of basketball. The Cameron Boozers of the world, and justifiably, I should point out,
absolutely,
get a lot of tremendous publicity. And justifiably, he is a terrific player and he's fun to watch. But Marinelli's a college basketball story. He goes in there the first year, he's hardly playing at all. So he's on my card, but he's not in the scouting report. Second year he's there, he's playing a little bit more, and now he is on the scouting report. But you don't consider him a threat when he comes in the game. Like, all right. Third year, this guy's really good. This guy's 20 points a game, left-hander, hitting shots. He's followed that up with 23 a game. He is the old-fashioned college basketball story, a guy that developed on his own clock and has turned into a guy that is number one in the scouting report every time you play Northwestern. He is really good. And they're playing young guys. Max Green's now playing. Tyler Kropp's playing. They're playing their young guys too. They came off a West Coast trip where they beat USC 74-68. Then I watched the UCLA game on Saturday night, and they hung in there with UCLA. They hung in there. And UCLA didn't play the last 3 minutes very well. In fact, I mean, Nick was able to get 6 of his 20 points in the last minute and a half on layups because they were just trying to protect the three-point line. They kind of gave up layups. Just they thought, hey, they're going to foul us. We'll get the 2. They'll get a 2. Who cares? We'll keep the margin and win. And and UCLA won the game. So, but Penn State had to fly back last night after bussing out there Saturday. And they'll do some limited work today. Got the coaches show tonight. Guy Godowski's on the first half hour tonight. And then tomorrow practice, get back in the plane, go back out to Chicago and play the game Thursday night. And they'll fly back on Thursday night. And Dick and I will fly back on Friday and turn around and get ready for Sunday.
Yeah.
That's where it. That's it. Where it is. That's what I saw. Last night, I did not get a chance to see Arizona and BYU. Listen to it, but that's all I could really do. What was really strange is out there. They have in the state 3 levels, and if you get to level 3. Only emergency vehicles are allowed out. So Columbus is in Franklin County, and starting on late Saturday night, because it didn't really start snowing there until maybe about 9 or 10, they on Sunday made it a level 3 all day, and it was level 3 Monday morning. But Penn State was able to go over, shoot around, come back. And they made the decision yesterday afternoon to play the game with fans because there was some discussion like, hey, if it's still level 3, we may play the game, but no fans. The NHL had a game downtown, Columbus Blue Jackets and the LA Kings. Kings are part of a 6-game road trip for the Kings. And my understanding was, obviously the Blue Jackets, we already know they're there. Mm-hmm. But the Kings, my understanding is the Kings were there. And the 4 officials, I don't need any source as to whether they were there. They were in the hotel with us. Right? I watched some of the NFC Championship game with those guys, Wes McCauley and those guys. Right? And I mean, we had a long talk on Saturday night, then watched some of the game as a group together on Sunday. So they were there. And they postponed the game. Now, I'm wondering, because Ohio State it's in Columbus, but it's not downtown. So downtown may have been different in terms of your ability to move around. I don't know. Because, I didn't go downtown, despite the urge to party on. Boy. They postponed it. They're going to play it on March 8th or something like that because there's not a lot of makeup time in there because of the Olympics.
Sure.
No, because of the Olympics.
The Olympics too, yeah.
It's 3 weeks where they're playing the Olympics. But yeah.
Yeah. I think from Penn State basketball standpoint, I think 2 things stick out to me, and I've never been one for a big picture. I never like measuring that, but I think the one thing you can't measure is heart, and I think they've got a lot of that. I think they showed that last night. There's no doubt about it. I think they're a team that is, you said the effort, yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. I think their heart is certainly there. I think that's a big part of it. And the other thing, at times, I think what you're seeing with them, at times they're playing like a young team. I think there's
they are.
Yeah, exactly. That's young teams sometimes do that, where they're gonna where you make the mistake, or you have one possession that can swing things a little different, and it goes the other way. I go back to, I think it was a 3-point game last night. I believe it was a turnover or a miss, one of the two leads to a 3 the other way, and it's a 6-point swing, and that's Ohio State really didn't look back after that. I think that's it. There's times where I think that sticks out, but yeah, the effort is certainly there. The heart is certainly there. From an Ohio State perspective, I think that's one team where the old cliche is, they take after their coach. They do. They play exactly the way Jake Diebler played. I think that's it. When you look at how he played college basketball, I think that's it. They completely take after his style in a lot of ways, and they feed off of him.
I think they feed off of Thornton and Mobley.
Well, they certainly do, but I think Diebler's style is the way they approach. They take that approach, though, too.
Yeah, to a point. Look, he's got two superior guards out there.
Oh, absolutely. That's going to help, sure.
Okay?
There's no doubt.
I mean, he doesn't have much of a front court. Royal is a good player.
Good, not great, yeah.
Right, but Royal is a good player, though.
Yes, yeah.
Right? Royal helps you win games.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of the team, for the most part, they're under the category of just another guy. They got a whole bunch of just another guys out there. Now, Bynum,
and that's
I
want
to say, point. I would say Bynum, the freshman, is going to be a terrific player.
Yeah.
Bynum, the freshman, is going to be a terrific player. But like he's out there coaching, and he recruited Mobley.
Yeah.
And he didn't recruit Thornton. He recruited Mobley. And guess what? He's got a 4-year college point guard who stayed the entire time, because the odds of him playing in the NBA are long. He's making some money at Ohio State. That's great. And that's the way, like, idealistically in today's world, I think most fans would like to see it play out that way, as opposed to Darian Mensah. Darian Mensah, they have now reached a financial settlement between Duke and Darian Mensah, and it allows him to now transfer, and it appears that he's going to go to Miami.
Yeah, I think that was what you clearly thought about when he announced he was going to transfer, that was the place. They needed a quarterback. That was clear as day, where I think that's, I'm not shocked whatsoever. I think that was the location that he suspected he was going to go.
I mean, look, the whole thing is, right, it's a mess.
It's been.
Right?
Yeah.
And as I pointed out before, if you do collective bargaining, there are a couple things you have to look at. Does one collective bargaining size fit all? Or is it just meant to fit the Power Four? There are 136 schools in there. And look, the American Conference, for example, I don't think they have anybody in the American that's paying the $20.5 million rev share with all their athletes. But the American has a floor. You have to pay at least 10. And I mean, that's part of their rule. And you need to have portal structure. You need to have make sure your NIL rules are enforceable. In other words, if you're going to have a deal with State Farm, you darn well better be doing something for State Farm.
Uh-huh.
All right. If you're going to have if you're going to be part of the Adidas deal, you better be doing something for Adidas. Right? That sweatshirt there is not going to do it.
No.
What is that? I mean, that's not Nike, is it?
No, I don't think so. I think it's just a regular sweatshirt. I do have a couple Nikes. I don't have my Adidas attire updated though.
Did you get that online in Shanghai?
No, not Shanghai. This one came clear from. I shopped local on this one.
Canton?
No.
Right. I got it from Canton. That was Canton. Oh, okay. And then the other part is, you got to talk about medical, classroom structure, things like that. How many hours a week are you allowed to practice? All that has to be negotiated out between the two sides. But here's the other part, Jason, that's very important to me. When you have a collective bargaining agreement in the pros, and look, if these guys are being paid, they're pros. Guess what? We already know what Saquon Barkley's contract is.
Absolutely.
We know what Micah Parsons' contract is. We know what LeBron James' contract is. We know what Sidney Crosby's contract is. And we know, unfortunately, what Paul Skeen's contract is. But they should have to then release the terms of the contracts with these athletes.
Sure, I agree.
Yes.
Absolutely. There's no doubt they should.
We don't need to know the NIL part. We don't need to know that. That's a private agreement. Right? And there's a clearinghouse as to whether it's good or not. I mean, I've seen some of the wrestlers do some car dealership commercials, things like that. It's great. And that, to me, that's private. But of the rev share, those deals should all be released. And you can only do that in collective bargaining because the players would have to agree to it.
Yeah, I agree.
But we should know the terms.
Right. Absolutely.
For example, Mensah allegedly signed a 2-year contract. He allegedly was supposed to get $4 million this year. What was the buyout on that contract? Now, you know well, Mensah's not paying the buyout.
No.
The buyout is being paid by, pick somebody, south of Gainesville. I think we should know what the deal is. Nico Iamaleava, Tennessee. What was his deal? His actual deal at Tennessee? Fans should know. There's
no doubt.
Not only should fans know, other coaches should know.
Yeah. Yeah,
because,
there's no doubt.
Because already Dabo Swinney has called out Pete Golding at Ole Miss for allegedly tampering with a linebacker, who I guess has now gone to Ole Miss. And that's not the only guy out there.
No. This is happening.
I mean,
completely.
you don't think
that's
that after the 6th game of the season on a Monday afternoon, that the phones of all the Penn State football players were blowing up from different people saying,
there's no question.
I heard from X, you can go to the land of milk and honey.
You bet. And not only that, if there's a blue chip quarterback or a blue chip receiver, etc., that isn't playing, those phones are blowing up. Hey, you've got potential. You're wasting it here. There's no doubt.
But again, part of a collective bargaining agreement is, guess what? They need to release the contracts.
I agree.
Well, they're just college kids. Don't play that game.
Not anymore.
Don't you play that?
No, you can't play that game.
Do not play that game. Okay?
Not anymore.
Hey, if you want to be you want to go to the holiday party and be the naive person, go ahead.
Yep. No, you can't play that game anymore. These are not. You cannot use the amateur athlete, but you cannot use these. They're just kids line. You can't use the amateurs. They're just kids anymore. Cannot use that line when money is involved, like it is. Absolutely can't go in that direction anymore.
I think that.
And it's not only what the players are making, too. It's what the fans are paying. There's a lot of things now that are factoring in. That's absolutely.
Again, there's all the other stuff. I mean, is it a contract that has deferred money? I mean, we know that Shohei Ohtani does. He has deferred money.
Yeah.
I believe Kyle Tucker has deferred money in it. Is it a contract? What's the length of the deal? 2 years, 3 years? What's the buyout? What's the escalator on it? Will there be deferred money? All that stuff should be released. Now, you can't do it right now because there's no collective bargaining agreement. So right now you can't do it. Now the next part on the money tree is something that we talked about 9 months ago. Remember we talked about advertising patches?
Yeah, they're going to happen now. Yeah.
We talked about it 9 months ago. So if you were a regular viewer of this, this was, you probably sat back like, yep, already heard about that. Heard about that almost a year ago.
Yeah, and you almost knew it was coming, too. There's no question. I think usually when an innovator comes through with it, puts it on their uniforms, NBA, others are going to take note of it, and they're going to follow. And that's exactly what happened.
Well, Major League Baseball does it.
Now they're doing it.
We know that Star Insurance has...
The NFL does it on practice jerseys.
Jerseys. The NHL does it. They've got, they've got it. Star Insurance does the Yankees. Sheets does the Pirates.
Sure. Yeah.
And for the most part, what I've what I do find interesting is that the NBA, except if it's like Love's Truck Stops, which is Oklahoma City, the big red heart and the yellow, okay, for the most part, they're actually rather subtle on the NBA jersey.
Yeah.
I found it to be rather subtle on the NHL jersey, and really almost like that in Major League Baseball, except for the Pirates, the sheets is red.
Yeah.
So it does stick out.
Yeah.
And this is all done for advertising, for TV. In the ballpark, or at the rink, or at the court in a pro game, you don't notice what they're.
No.
You can't see the patch.
No, you can't see the patch.
You can't see the patch. So that part's not going to be that noticeable to you. You'll notice there's something there, but your ability, it's only 4 by.
Yeah.
Okay. 4 by 1.5 or something, like 4 by 2.
Yeah.
So it's not much.
Yeah.
But it's being done so that when they do the close-up of the quarterback and the shotgun, it's sticking out clear as day. Yeah. It's done for TV reasons.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah, that's why you don't see the ad behind the TV that is if you're not watching the game on TV.
Yeah.
Absolutely. There's no doubt. And it's the funny part of it is if you're a young generation and you've not seen the movie Major League 2 until now, you're watching Roger Dorn's ability to increase his profits, you're not laughing like you were back then.
Right.
You were laughing at that time because they weren't doing it. Now everybody's doing it and then some, where you're putting the yellow pages in the walls. Absolutely. And that's the easiest way for them to increase their profits. The Yankees, I think, were one of the first to do it when they put the W.B. Mason sign back there. Now, everybody's doing it.
For example, I'll give you an example. This is the Chicago White Sox. We're talking about contracts being released.
Yep.
They signed reliever Sir Anthony Dominguez, who, by the way, did pitch at Medler Field, Lebrano Park, because he was in the Phillies organization at one point. Yep. He signed a 2-year deal worth $20 million with a mutual option. Okay? That's what I'm talking about. I mean, we're not talking about, this is not Mookie Betts' contract.
No.
This is Sir Anthony Dominguez. Right? And everybody's contract gets released.
Sure.
And I think that is going to be important as part of the collective bargaining agreement. You've got to be able to put it out there. Okay? Guess what? Everybody should know, hey, wait a minute. Mensa's not a free agent. Mensa's under contract, blah, blah, blah. He's got another year to go. Because that's part of the structure. Right? And who buys out contracts in the pros? Very rare.
Yep.
I mean, Saquon Barkley is not sitting there. Was he going into year 2 of his new deal?
Of his new deal, year 2, year 3 in Philly, yep.
And so he's going into year 2 of the new deal. That's the 3-year, $51 million deal.
Yeah.
And where's the buyout in the contract? There isn't one.
There isn't one.
There isn't
one. Now you can word contracts to where it's a year-to-year basis, as a lot of teams will do with quarterbacks, but that's not.
Now you can have an opt-out put in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Look, Cody Bellinger opted out of his Yankee contract, then ended up with a 5-year deal. Alex Bregman opted out with his contract with the Red Sox and got a 5-year deal with the Cubs. So opt-outs are now more prevalent.
Bo Bichette with his new deal, he can opt out after this year.
Yes, he can opt out after this year with the Mets, and after spending months in Flushing Meadow, But
after seeing how much money they've spent and seeing the product they produce,
but the bottom line is everybody, opposing coaches, opposing general managers,
they know.
Your locker room, your fans should all know what the transaction is.
I agree. Absolutely.
I don't need to know how much money the manager at Lowe's is making.
Right.
But they're not charging me to go into Lowe's. They're charging they're charging me to go to take something out of Lowe's and, not like your old neighborhood, the 5-finger discount.
You're also not, with all due respect to the good folks at Lowe's, you're not buying the Lowe's jerseys and T-shirts and hats.
So I see you strutting all over the place here in the summertime in your Lowe's T-shirt.
With the red vest.
I mean, well,
but yeah, you're typically not buying apparel with their name on it.
Kind of a different story, the red vest. Okay. But people should know. Sorry, if you want to be the adults and get paid, it's
I agree.
Time to do it.
Yeah, no doubt.
And the Badiako thing, now the hearing has been delayed. As he played a couple of years in the G League, never played an NBA game. There's people that saying he played in the NBA. He did not play in the NBA, but he played in the G League. And I'm listening. Look, Jay Billis says a lot of really intelligent things. Right. And, of course, with him, there's no room for, like, when he says it, that's it.
Yeah.
Like, no, Jay, you're right about most things. You're not right about everything. Badiako should not be playing college basketball. I'm sorry. Okay, he should not be playing.
I agree.
Okay, he opted and said, "I'm done with my eligibility."
Bet against himself and failed. Yeah,
and that's the way it goes. No offense. If he wants to go back to Alabama and get his degree, so be it. Good for him. But he obviously can make more money at Alabama than he can in the G League. I mean, the base salary in the G League is $35,000. Now, I don't know if he was on a two-way deal or not. That part I don't know. But that's irrelevant.
Yeah. No, it's the fact that he played at that level.
Okay. You told them, I'm done.
Yeah.
You put your name in. You got drafted. You opted to sign a pro contract. We are done. I don't care what age you are, you made the decision.
Yeah, I agree completely.
That's it.
And it certainly was the case, prior to NIL, it absolutely was the case. You opted to go pro, you were done. You hired an agent, you were absolutely done.
Right. I mean, they all have agents now and things like that. And I realize that the point Jay is making, and it's not incorrect, is about the European players that have been playing in pro leagues coming over here. That becomes a little murkier.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Right? Sure as to the Europeans that have played over there.
They also play a lot younger at pro levels there.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
But here, there's structure. There's a rule. And the structure was, if you opted to go to the draft, look, he was given every out to come back to Alabama. You go to this combine, you go to that workout, you work out for these teams. Okay, the NBA, it's an NBA rule, not a college rule, and it's about 3 weeks before the draft. You have to say whether you're in or out. He went through the entire process, said, I'm out. But now a few years later, I'll never forget people like, guy put his name in the draft and he didn't get drafted. They should be allowed to go back. I'm like, no, I'm sorry. You made, because the guy makes the decision and it's not a good decision, it's our job to bail him out.
No, absolutely not.
Hey, no offense, but they can play in Australia, New Zealand, Japan, Uruguay, Europe. Yeah, they all have leagues. The college ship has sailed because you chose to have the college ship sail. I'm sorry.
Yep.
Hey,
absolutely. There's no doubt.
And now there's a delay on. There is a delay on the hearing because the NCAA wants the judge removed. He's in Alabama.
Yeah, that's a little bit biased.
Okay.
Just a touch.
Yeah, just a little bit. So it's And I'd like to point out, he's not only been making G League money, but guess what he's also getting? Back pay in the settlement. Remember, back pay for football and men's basketball players goes back to 2016.
Yeah, that's true.
Hey, looking for the articles, don't see anything mentioned about the back pay in there. Sorry. Again, I don't know the kid. I've never been around the kid in my life. I know nothing about him. I know nothing about his family, any of that situation. But, all these people, you got to go. Come on, Charles, got to go. I'm going. Okay, fine. Right? And now you get a do-over? And he is on the pro level what he was in college. A really good player. A really good rebounder, a really good defensive player, and not much of an offensive threat. That's what he was at Alabama. Well, in the pros, he's been a really good rebounder, a really good defender, and not much of an offensive threat. When he played against, I think it was Tennessee the other day, he had some rebounds, he played some defense, and wasn't much of an offensive threat. So he really hasn't changed too much over time, but it's not right.
No, I agree.
Hey, I mean, what's next? Boozer's going to be allowed to go back to high school? Well, what's the difference?
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I agree.
What's the difference? I mean, maybe Boozer can go back to high school and win a state championship.
And that's.
I mean, sir.
Yeah, absolutely.
You made the choice.
Yeah.
Right, to go to the next level. Oh, now I'm going to go back? Hey, I'm sorry. That's not how this works. Yeah. You're not sitting there. Alabama's not the AAA affiliate of the Sacramento Kings.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, there is, you sign with the Kings, whatever contract happens to be, and they throw you in the G League, you're in the G League.
You're G League, absolutely.
Andrew Funk played in the G League. All right, he played a little bit with the Bulls in a two-way. Seth Lundy played G League in two-way with both the Hawks and the Clippers.
Frazier played exceptionally in that.
Tim Frazier was back and forth over the years in his career, and Jalen Pickett's gone back and forth between Grand Rapids and Denver.
And the other part of it is now, and this is not just NIL completely related, but it goes back to the point of there wasn't stability when it first started. You didn't really know the rules, and you still don't know the rules. Well, you don't know when you're looking
because
at
nobody has the guts.
Nobody has the guts to
put the rules.
They're all looking for somebody else. Absolutely.
And everybody goes to court. I mean, look, I had a very warm exchange last night with Puff Johnson after the game. Okay. And Penn State did all the legwork in terms of the paperwork with the NCAA and everything like that. And it was his 6th-year petition was rejected. Well, I mean, it's not as if the Johnsons don't have some means. I mean, Cam, for goodness sakes, in the NBA.
NBA, sure. Right?
So, they have an attorney. They were able to get a temporary restraining order. He just arrived with the team last week, and he's still not quite in basketball shape yet in talking with him. And I think he's got another court hearing coming up on Friday. But it's happening now everywhere you turn. Is that everybody's using the court system to get temporary restraint? And I'm not saying anything against Puff. I'm just using him as an example.
Sure.
That they're using the court system to get temporary restraining orders to allow them to play, and they're using the courts to do it. I'm sorry, but the NCAA has to act like a company. We have rules in the company. You can play college basketball, but here are the rules.
You got to have a boss thing on the boss too. Not necessarily having a power trip, but you got to have a boss thing. Okay, here's my rule and why.
And I'm so on the same page with Jay Billis on this. You can't keep running around with your hat in your hand going to Congress saying we need
absolutely
to have antitrust relief to do this. Just sit down, identify, and talk to somebody that is going to be approved by all the players to represent them and hammer out a collective bargaining agreement. You've got models already in place with every pro league. Now, Major League Baseball may have a luxury tax and the NFL may have a cap, but you have models all over the place. They have everybody play by your rules on your level. And you need, the other part too is this. Obviously, I want judges to know the law. Sure. I know you've fought me on that many times.
And the long one.
Right? I don't think they should know the law. I'm like, well, what are you talking about? Judges should know the law. I've got that. But you need, for example, you need to know the law, and also I think you need to understand how sports works. Because there is a difference.
Absolutely.
You're making rulings on people right now that their eligibility should be up.
Yes.
Or in the Mensa case, I mean, Duke ended up suing him. And then look, and Duke knows the look is going to be bad, right?
Sure. Absolutely.
So they came to an agreement. Mensa's not going to have to pay the buyout personally because whatever school he goes to, Miami, is probably going to is the one paying for it. It's just they keep getting injunctive relief, and I'm not so sure they know what they're ruling on. You can pull the heartstrings all you want. Yeah. And the NCAA has been very lenient over the years of giving additional years. But that's why I'm looking at like the 5-year rule. Maybe you ought to take a long, hard look at the 5-year rule and say it's 5 years no matter what. You play 2 games one year, you play 3 the next, and you end up playing 42 your senior year because your team made the NCAA Final Four. Okay. All right. But you got 5 years.
Yeah.
Now I realize it took you 8 to get your degree, but I mean,
it's one more further year than Chris Farley and Tommy Boy. He went for 7. That's one of the great lines. A lot of people go to college for 70 years. Yeah, they're called doctors.
Well, guess who's the new head football coach of the Buffalo Bills?
Yep, I did see that. Good. I suspected that was going to happen.
Former Penn State GA Joe Brady.
I suspected at some point that was going to happen because if they didn't make him head coach, somebody else was going to.
Joe Brady, I'm happy for him.
Absolutely. Same. Do I agree? Should they have fired Sean McDermott? No. I don't agree. No. But Joe Brady, I think, is a good replacement and very happy for him.
In the NFL, what do they do?
Oh, the expectation is Super Bowl or F.
No. Don't play the talk show game, okay?
It is at this point. You don't win one, you're eventually going to be gone.
I got it.
Yeah, that's not a hot take, it's reality.
When they hire, what do they normally do? They hire the opposite of what they had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
Okay. Raheem Morris, what side of the ball?
Yeah. True.
Kevin Stefanski, what side of the ball?
Yep.
Okay. Mike McDaniel, what side of the ball? Okay.
Pete Carroll,
Jeff Hafley, what side of the ball?
Absolutely.
All right. Okay. Mike Tomlin, what side of the ball?
Yeah.
Mike McCarthy, what side of the ball? Sean McDermott, what side of the ball?
That's true.
Joe Brady, what side of the ball? Now the Browns, we don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah, well, they don't play ball, so it doesn't count.
Right now, they're interviewing Uber drivers who have an opinion.
But no, that's a great point. Absolutely.
But they
because it didn't work. It didn't work in their minds. It didn't work.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
So they go the opposite usually.
Sure.
of what they had. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very interesting how they do that. Vance Joseph, Sean Payton. Then Payton keeps Joseph. Yeah, it's kind of fun watching Josh McDaniel call plays on one side, Vance Joseph on the other, and they both were former Denver Broncos head coaches.
Yep.
By the way, how about Sam Darnold?
Yeah, absolutely.
Sam
great
Darnold
story.
was more than just a great story. To be honest with you, in the postseason, he's been the best. He's been the best quarterback of anybody in the postseason.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
And Stafford had a terrific game against Seattle.
Yes.
Stafford played a mistake-free game, but did not have a great game against the Bears, which probably was difficult to do when it was so cold.
Yeah. Yep.
But Stafford played a decent game, a mistake-free game, which is critical in the postseason. I mean, he didn't have any turnovers in the game the other day either.
No, the same thing that hurt the Rams all year hurt the Rams.
But Darnold was outstanding against both the 49ers and the Rams.
Absolutely was. And it's great quarterbacks are not only going to love a good running back, they're going to trust their running backs. And that's what he did with Kenneth. That's what the Seahawks have done with Kenneth Walker. That's what Sam Darnold has done with Kenneth Walker.
Right.
Yeah, Charbonnet goes down, Walker picks up the load a little bit more, and he's been incredible. And yeah, he spreads the ball around. There's no doubt. Not only Sam Darnold, Cooper Kupp, I think, has had a great. I don't want to say redemption. He's never really dropped off the face of the earth by any means. He couldn't stay healthy, but Kupp has been a huge addition to them. Yeah, Smith and Jigba, I think you know what we had with him. There's no question. Phenomenal player.
I mean, conversely, Drake May has not had a good postseason.
No, not even close.
You ran the ball really well against Denver. I mean, he ran the ball really well against Denver.
Yeah.
The touchdown run was
perfect play
great play call and perfect execution by him. He had a couple of runs that got him out of trouble, set up.
I think he's going to struggle against their defense. Their defense is going to bring it to him,
I think
just like Denver did.
It's going to be an issue against them. But again, I just watched another playoff game where a guy lost the game in part because of analytics. What are you doing out there? This is an experienced coach this time. This is not like Ben Johnson is his his first year as a head coach?
First year as a coach, yep.
First year as a head coach, okay, I got it. Golly gee willikers, we go for it all the time. That's who we are. It's like, okay,
Dan Campbell.
Okay, I know you play for Dan Campbell. We go for it all. We go for it all the time. Dan, you lost the NFC Championship game.
Because of it. Absolutely. There is no reason they should have lost that game.
And I think the Bears survived his decision-making against Green Bay, and they did not survive his decision-making. Right? If he had kicked field goals, not on everything, and the touchdown the Bears had was a fourth down play, so let's concede that. But the other ones, if you kick field goals, Santos is a good kicker. He'd get, you feel good 90 to 95%, he's going to get two of them.
Yep.
Guess what you need in the last drive in regulation? You don't need that miracle touchdown. To get to overtime. You actually move down the field trying to get a field goal to what? Not overtime. Win the game. No, win the game.
Yeah, to win the game. Yeah. Weather was certainly a factor down the stretch, but not during the game.
But Santos is a good kicker. You're working your way down the field to get into field goal position because it would have been 17-16 at that point, and he would have been there trying to get maybe you get the ball to the 20-yard line. It's a 37-yard attempt. You're trying to win the game. You're not trying to get to overtime.
No doubt.
But your decision-making early has made this a bad decision. I'm watching Sean Payton, of all people.
That one was, and he regretted it. Like he
he owned it. Yeah. He owned it.
Absolutely.
But it made no sense because
no, it didn't.
Okay, I mean, let's take all the factors. It's the first half.
Yeah,
it's the first half.
Yeah.
Okay. You do your building in the first half.
Yeah.
Right? And then it helps you with your decisions later. 2, I don't care what you say and how we are behind him all the way. We love Stiddy. He's a backup quarterback in the NFL.
That's the greatest point right there. That's absolutely the point of all points right there.
Quarterback.
You are playing with a backup quarterback. You got to get the points.
And number 3, I'm about to make it a 2-possession game with a field goal, and I've got my defense, which is great.
Yes. Absolutely.
Okay?
100%. Could not agree more.
And it's like time, score, situation. He failed on all three of those.
Especially
right?
that second part. Backup quarterback, you've got to get points when you get points because you don't know when he's going to make a mistake, and he made one. A big one.
But it's more than that.
Well, it is, but that's a big part of it, though.
It's part of it. But I realize today's young generation thinks Lombardi is a myth. Okay, today's young generation thinks Lombardi's
a myth. Walsh is a myth. Belichick's old styles are a myth. Parcells.
Okay. Right now, for a lot of young people out there, the three most important letters to them right now are ATS. Against the spread.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
You're not wrong.
Right. Sorry. I taught class.
Yeah. No.
Hey, Lombardi lost one playoff game ever.
The Eagles.
9-1. They played the Eagles at Franklin Field, and Lombardi went for it in the first half. And he said after the game, he said, I will never not take the points in that situation again.
Yeah.
Well, all he did was win 9 straight playoff games, 5 NFL championships, and 2 Super Bowls. Yes, did he have great talent? Yes. But his decision-making?
These teams of today have great talent, too, though.
Right. His decision-making?
Yeah.
Right, and it wasn't if he was adverse to, like, okay, let's go here. I mean, the third down quarterback sneak by Bart Starr to beat Dallas, I mean, that was winner to loser right there. But you're down in that, what was it, 17-14? They could have kicked a field goal to go to overtime. It's 15 below 0. We're not going to sit there and go to overtime.
That was a great call. Bart Starr saw that.
Well, Starr went over. He said, I think I can get behind Kramer and run the quarterback sneak. The great Lombardi line, he said, well, we're just running. Let's get the hell out of here.
Yeah, I 1,000% agree with that.
Again.
Yeah.
But he's a fossil.
Yeah.
Right? There's certain points where, maybe, but for the most part, to me, you play the first half of a game and get into some of the third quarter. Now you assess where you are. Because one of the more ridiculous things I see over and over again is the 15-point thing in the fourth quarter. Right? You need to go for 2 right now.
No, you go for 2 at the last
because
possible chance
you started out, first of all, how many possessions are left in the game?
Yeah.
That's one?
One. Yeah.
I'm down 2 possessions.
Yeah.
If I miss it, guess what I'm still down? 2 possessions. Can anybody over at the analytics department add? If I don't make it, I have gained literally no ground in the game. None.
Yeah. Analytics should also have known weather was coming and you were going to be struggling to move the football in the second half, too. It's the other part of it. And that's where reality sometimes has to.
Let's give credit where credit's due.
1,000%.
Yale and Harvard both made the FCS tournament this year. So obviously somebody around those 2 places knows football.
They have common sense somewhere.